in the eyes of the law. That right, he said, is granted by the Constitution. No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than they once were. As some of the petitioners in these cases demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that may endure even past death. It would misunderstand these men and women to say they disrespect the idea of marriage. Their plea is that they do respect it so deeply that they seek to find its fulfillment for themselves. Their hope is not to be condemned to live in loneliness, excluded from one of civilization's oldest institutions. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them that right. Kennedy is responding to opponents of gay marriage who argue that it undermines the traditional sanctity of an ancient institution by redefining it. The point of same-sex unions is to not weaken marriage, he argues, but to expand it in the nation as a whole and honor it more fully in their own lives. These lines echo to the final paragraph of Loving v. Virginia, the case in which Supreme Court threw out laws banning interracial marriage in 1967. Chief Justice Earl Warren wrote in his opinion, "Marriage is one of the basic civil rights of man, fundamental to our very existence and survival."
Charles, you have chosen Christopher to be your husband. Will you love and respect him? Will you be honest with him always? Will you stand by him through whatever may come? Christopher, you have chosen Charles to be your husband. Will you love and respect him? Will you be honest with him always? And will you stand by him through whatever may come?
I will.
Okay. And do you both promise to make the necessary adjustments in your personal lives in order that you may live in a harmonious relationship together?
We will.
Now, in the spirit of joy and affirmation, I want to ask your family and friends a question. Do you, the family and friends of Charles and Christopher, give them your blessing and support this day, wishing them a wonderful life together? Everybody approves. Charles and Christopher, now we come to your vows. May I remind you that saying your vows are one thing, but nothing is more challenging than living them day by day. What you promise today must be renewed tomorrow and each day that stretches out before you. Will you now come closer together and hold hands? Not that close. Not that close. Yeah. All right. It's your turn for your personal vows.
Yeah.
Bear with me. I love you.
Okay.
I love you so much, and I'm experiencing a flood of emotions right now. I firmly believe in my heart of hearts that we are meant to be with one another. It's kind of ironic that I grew up in this town with all of its voodoo and whatnot, but I have never really been one to believe in quote-unquote signs. As I stand here professing my love for you in front of all of our loved ones and those closest to us, I will tell you that I undoubtedly have experienced two clear signs this past week alone. Two signs that we are meant to be together. I'm not going to tell you what those two signs are, just not yet. I will tell them to you one day, but to find out, you gotta stick with me. And when I do tell you, as I stare into those beautiful eyes of yours, we will remember this moment, that moment when I told you about this very prediction. Now, even though I'm not revealing those signs just yet, what I can tell you is that my vows contain two hints. As I stand here today, I am utterly, completely, totally overwhelmed. And I just want to say that you look beautiful. Or as I dramatically say, oh my God, I'm dying. Over these past few months, we have gotten so incredibly close. We are more open, communicative, and honest than we have ever been. And words cannot describe how in tune with each other we've been lately. What I'm feeling right at this very moment is inexplicable. I'm experiencing a flood of emotions and a euphoric sense of blissful happiness. I simultaneously feel anxious, nervous, loved, and in love, overwhelmed, blessed, excited, nostalgic, grateful. I think our union and our partnership is beautiful. And if there's one thing I've learned in our time together thus far, it's the following. Honesty and communication are truly the keys to a long and enduring relationship. It's so, so true. I love you implicitly, and I promise to never, ever take you for granted. My life sure has changed these past 10 years. 10 years ago, I was in my first year of college. My very first class, on my very first day ever at Tulane, was a class titled Urban Sociology. I remember leaving that class, calling my mom, and telling her, this is what I'm gonna do. Here I am 11 years later, doing just that. I've never deviated. I'm getting a PhD in urban sociology. I'm teaching it. Never wavered. But you already know that story. What you don't know is that feeling that I had that first day of college, those feelings of certainty, clarity, and resolution, has only ever happened to me one other time in my life. That second time was the first night I met you. I've never told you this before, but that night after you dropped me off, sorry, blurry. That night you dropped me off back at the hotel after you took me out in downtown Athens and after I signed the lease for housing, I had this moment where I told myself, I'm going to be with this man. When I was writing and rewriting my vows, I kept asking myself, how could I possibly even know that? I'm here to tell you that I don't really have an answer. It was just a feeling. I mean, how could I have known? I wasn't even out of the closet yet. I just met you, and our only prior communication up to that point was email and a few text messages about a lease. Those feelings I experienced that night, that combination, the same set of feelings I had that first day of college have never left me to this day, and I don't want them to. I guess what I'm trying to say is it truly was enchanting to meet you that night. It's incredible to think that 7 years ago, your searching for a roommate ad would change my life forever. Your ad was the very first one I answered as I was searching for housing to start graduate school. And as you know how the story goes, for whatever reason, I did not reply back to you originally. In fact, I applied to about 15 other housing, but they all fell through for one reason or another. Something told me to go back to your first ad. The rest is history. As everyone knows, Chris and I have very different personalities. I am type A to the utmost extreme. I'm neurotic, I'm extroverted, I'm OCD, I'm talkative, I'm sassy, I'm very opinionated. Like, hello. Have y'all seen my Facebook posts? They're very political. No. I'm unapologetic, and I love to talk about anything controversial in America right now. Just bring it. Chris, on the other hand, is the total opposite of me. He's type B, he's quiet, he's introverted, he posts one Facebook status a year, doesn't like conflict, always goes with the flow, and is very simple to please. I guess there is truth to the expression that opposites attract. So what I'm here to say is that from here, we look forward. I don't know what the future holds, but what I do know is that I'm looking forward to the day that I reveal to you the two signs that I told you about on the day of our wedding. I look forward to that day and to our life that we will create together. You are an extraordinary man, and my life is better because of you. I cannot live my life without you at this point. Not a day goes by where at some point I go, oh my God, I can't wait to see him when I get home. You make me feel safe, loved, appreciated, special, worthy, and respected. You complete me. You are my best friend, my confidant, my lover, my soulmate. I love you, my husband.
Charles, I can't believe this day is finally here. We've been dating for almost 6 years. We co-parent 2 wonderful dogs, and we've started a great life for ourselves in New Orleans. It's hard to believe that we started out as random roommates in graduate school at the University of Georgia so long ago. There's no doubt in my mind that fate is real, and we are destined to be together. My Craigslist ad was the last one that you followed up on, and I personally had no reason to add another degree to keep me in Athens for another year. I'm the quiet, introverted one. Had we not lived together, I don't think I would have been the one that you would have randomly approached in a crowd. This union was definitely meant to be. I love all of our routines. I love our Friday date nights, our afternoon gym sessions, watching The Young and the Restless every night after dinner, no matter how busy we are with work and school. And I love how you know all my mannerisms, irrational thought processes, and annoying habits better than I know them myself, and that you put up with them. So yes, I will always ask you what time Costco opens, at least once a week. So yes, I will always complain about going to the gym, and then always thank you for making me go after the fact. Yes. Sorry. So yes, I will always park 5 blocks away, just so I don't need to, just to avoid parallel parking. And yes, it will always take me forever to respond to your text messages because I write multiple drafts and I have to find the perfect emoji for every occasion. You're the most thoughtful, caring person that I know, and I'm constantly amazed at your level of dedication to your teaching, schooling, and to your faith. I don't know at what point in our relationship that I realized that I was in love with you because, as your roommate, I got the pleasure of seeing you every day. I guess that's why they call it falling in love, because you can't predict or pinpoint when it happens. It just happens, and you live in that moment, you take it, you own it, and you cherish it. Same-sex marriage hasn't been legal for very long, so I'm incredibly thankful that you and I met and fell in love during a time where we could legally take our relationship to the next level and experience the same ups and downs of a young marriage, just like all of our friends. This is the first same-sex wedding for many of our friends and family, and that is a huge deal. As I look around the room, I feel incredibly humbled and honored. Family and friends of so many different races, sexual orientations, political affiliations, religions, etc., have gathered together here today to celebrate us and our union and the commitment that we are making to each other. Today, love truly wins. It's crazy to think that 50 years ago, this marriage couldn't happen for one reason, race, and for a different reason, being gay, 5 years ago. Our first date was 5, almost 6 years ago, and we went into this relationship not being sure if we would ever legally be able to get married, which is crazy. So yes, we plan to make the most of this newfound privilege and make this the biggest, gayest affair we can. We want people to look at this wedding and all the other gay weddings and say, damn, that was beautiful. The gays sure can throw a great wedding. What took us so long to give it to them? I also feel incredibly fortunate to be a part of this first generation of same-sex couples who can legally get married. You are the ultimate educator, and I know that you plan to use your personal experiences as a member of this group to have a positive impact on your students. You are changing America one student at a time, and I feel incredibly blessed that you chose me to share your life with. I can't wait to officially start my life with you, to travel a lot, raise a few kids, and just grow older together. Beside you, always. You're truly my best friend and the one person I really couldn't live without. I can't wait to officially start our happily ever after.
Well, I have nothing else for you to say. Not yet, no kissing. All right. Charles, you're going to repeat this.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to read it?
Okay.
Okay. In the presence of God and our family and friends,
In the presence of God and our family and friends,
I, Charles, choose you, Christopher, to be my husband,
I, Charles, choose you, Christopher, to be my husband,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better or worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
and in sickness and in health,
in joy and in sorrow,
in joy and in sorrow,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
and to be faithful to you alone.
and to be faithful to you alone.
This is my solemn vow.
This is my solemn vow.
Chris. In the presence of God and our family and friends,
In the presence of God and our family and friends,
I, Christopher, choose you, Charles, to be my husband,
I, Christopher, choose you, Charles, to be my husband,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer for poor,
for richer, for poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
in joy and in sorrow,
in joy and in sorrow,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
and to be faithful to you alone.
and to be faithful to you alone.
This is my solemn vow.
This is my solemn vow.
Rings. Give it to each other.
It's okay. We'll figure it out. That's true. There.
Charles.
Oh, wait, no.
This is you to Christopher. Okay.
Gay wedding.
Sorry.
Okay, you place the ring on his left. Christopher, I give you this ring,
Christopher, I give you this ring,
that you may wear it as a symbol of the vows we have made this day.
that you
May wear
that
it
you may wear it
as a symbol
as a symbol
of the vows we have made this day.
of the vows we've made this day.
I pledge you my love and respect,
I pledge you my love and respect,
my laughter and my tears.
my laughter and my tears.
With all that I am,
With all that I am,
I honor you.
I honor you.
Charles,
Charles,
I give you this ring,
I give you this ring,
that you may wear it as a symbol
that you may wear it as a symbol
of the vows we have made this day.
of the vows we have made this day.
I pledge you my love
I pledge you my love
and respect,
and respect,
my laughter
my laughter
and my tears.
and my tears.
With all that I am,
With all that I am,
I honor you.
I honor you.
Now may those who wear these rings live in love all their days. Now may the love which has brought you together continue to grow and enrich your lives. May you continue to meet with courage any problems which may arise to challenge you. May your relationship always be one of love and trust. May the happiness you share today be with you always. And may everything you have said and done here today become a living truth in your lives. Charles and Christopher, we have heard your promise to share your lives in marriage. We recognize and respect the covenant you have made here this day before God and each one of us as witnesses. Therefore, in the honesty and sincerity of what you have said and done here today, and by the power vested in me by the state of Louisiana, it is my honor and delight to declare you married. You may seal your wedding with a kiss. And it's my personal privilege and great joy to be the first one to introduce Charles and Christopher as a newly married couple.
I love you. We're married, babe.